Well, welcome back, everybody. It's the final night of the high school football season. Hard to believe, it sounds cliche to say, but hard to believe it's week 9 and the regular season's in the books, essentially. And I had the Cathedral Center Grove game tonight at the Butler Bowl, and it was raining and soggy and not muddy, though. It was not muddy for sure. 2 years ago at Arlington, it was the Mud Bowl. This is the Rain Bowl. And Cathedral falls. They rally late, but they lose to Center Grove 45-38. And had to rally basically 3 times. Fell behind 16-0. Uh, Came back, fell behind again early in the third quarter. And it was 31-10 at one point. They cut it down to 16-10 right after halftime. Got a onside kick, or actually a fumbled kickoff return by Center Grove to start the second half, and Cathedral turned that into 3 points, 16-10. And then Center Grove got out ahead again. Seemed like every time Cathedral had an answer, Center Grove had an answer offensively. So they scored twice, went up 31-10 on a Tyler Cherry touchdown run that was set up by a couple passes. And then Cathedral again came back. It was 31-17 on a 58-yard pass from Danny O'Neill. Johnson caught that one, cut it down to a 31-17. Cathedral onside kick. This was late in the third quarter. Onside kick, got it, drove down 47 yards again. Jared Bonds, a 4-yard touchdown run, and that cut it to 31-24. And then Center Grove, again, they had an answer. Like I said, that seemed to be the case all night. That was probably the biggest answer. They had a 62-yard drive on 10 plays, and Noah Coy, 8-yard touchdown catch in the left corner of the end zone from Tyler Cherry, went up 38-24, and then Center Grove got the ball back, scored again. Austin Hennessy had an 11-yard touchdown run to go up 45-24, and that was basically 2 minutes left in the game. Felt like it was pretty much over at that point, 45-24. Less than 2 minutes left. You think that's just kind of run the clock out situation. Cathedral comes back again and makes it 45-31 as Zach Meeks caught a 24-yard touchdown pass. It only took a minute. And so with 52 seconds left, Cathedral had a chance to get the onside kick. They got it. And again, they go back down and scored. It only took 3 plays, 45 yards. Johnson catches a 25-yard pass from O'Neill. And all of a sudden, it's 45-38. And getting a little bit crazy, Cathedral had one more chance to onside kick. Center Grove put everybody up, probably within about 15, 20 yards of the football. And I told Rick Strife, the former coach at Cathedral, who's athletic director now, it's kind of like I'd probably kick it deep here and see if you can run down and get it. And that's actually what they did. And the ball bounced around at about the 5. Footballs can take funny bounces. It didn't bounce exactly how Cathedral needed it to. And Center Grove's player there, Patrick Smith, knocked the ball out of bounds smartly at about the 5-yard line. So that set up, Cathedral still had all 3 timeouts. Center Grove ran the ball twice. It was 3rd and 4. And then Cherry, they actually passed on 3rd down through to Hennessy. He got about 13 yards and a first down. I would have been curious what would have happened there 4th down if Center Grove had to punt. You're basically down to, I think it was 16 seconds on the 3rd down timeout, the last second to last timeout. Cathedral would have had 1 timeout left. If they would have stopped them, there probably would have been, 11 seconds left or so. But Center Grove would have had to punt, snap a punt in the rain. I'm sure Cathedral would have put on a punt block, so it could have got a little bit crazy there, but they do get the first down, they get the win, so Center Grove ends on a 8-game winning streak, 8-1 on the season now. Cathedral drops to 6-3. Cathedral's just, they have some trouble defensively, stopping teams. That was kind of the story of the night, really. Center Grove ends up with 336 passing yards. Tyler Cherry, 19 for 23 for 336 and 4 touchdowns. Noah Coy had kind of started a little bit quiet. Brevin Hollobar had He ends up with 6 catches for 122 and a touchdown. Tristan Baxter had a nice catch, had 1 catch for 19 yards, but Noah Coy ends up 8 for 151 and 3 touchdowns on the night is what we had him for. And then Danny O'Neal, he ends up with really big numbers too and really rallied that team late. He's 23 for 42, 331 and 4 touchdowns. Zach Meeks had 7 catches for 108 and a touchdown. Devon Slaughter had 10 catches for 66 or for 65. A lot of those were kind of running plays, similar to running plays, sort of end around type plays. And then Auburn Johnson had 3 catches for 85. Keith Long had 2 for 63 for a touchdown. So a lot of big numbers offensively. Of course, these 2 senior quarterbacks, 2 of the best in the state, if not the best, and kind of turned into an offensive slugfest a little bit. But Cathedral felt like they were playing from behind throughout. They had just had too many breakdowns defensively, and then offensively early didn't really kind of get things going enough in the first half. Only 1 touchdown in the first half. It was a 54-yard touchdown pass from O'Neal to Long. They were behind 16-0 at a safety, and then it was 16-0 by the end of the first quarter. Last play of the quarter, Coy caught a 63-yard pass from Cherry to go up 16-0. So kind of playing from behind throughout. Like I said, they rallied basically 3 times. Got it to 16-10. They got it to 31-24, and then got it to, by the end of the game, 45-38. But never really completely had a chance to pull even or get ahead in this game. They're constantly playing from behind. That's a hard thing to do against a really good Cathedral or against a really good Center Grove team. This is a very heated game. When it was 31-24, it got really, there were some extracurriculars, some borderline out of bounds, just stuff it wasn't beyond out of control or anything like that, but it was definitely heated and pretty typical. These 2 teams have been really big rivals these last few years, especially. And, if it happens again, it would be in the semi-state. So Cathedral would have to get through not only the sectional, but, what's going to be a tough regional game too. So I don't know if we'll see this matchup again. You would kind of expect Center Grove to get there, although they have to beat Franklin Central in the first round here in 2 weeks. And then probably Warren Central, you would guess, in the regional round. But Center Grove, I think, still, they have that moxie to them. They can obviously throw the ball really well. They've started running the ball better as the season's gone along. I was looking to see what their rushing yards were tonight. Again, it was Yoder pretty much carrying the load, and then also Hennessy getting involved later in the game too. 79 yards for Yoder on 19 carries, and Hennessy had 56 yards on 11 carries. So all of these numbers preliminary, I guess, not exactly, but pretty close. And, so they ran the ball relatively effectively, 128 overall on the ground. Cathedral had 109 and 440 total offense. So 464 Center Grove, 440 for Cathedral. So pretty close it ends up. But Center Grove wins it and move to 8-1. They will, like all these 6A teams, will get next week off and then play the following weeks. Cathedral will play North Central in 2 weeks. Center Grove will play Franklin Central in 2 weeks. So good game tonight at Butler. It was a great atmosphere. The rain kind of, was expected. It was pretty heavy, especially later. There was no rain in the third quarter. It was nice, and then it started raining again. Got pretty heavy there, pretty heavy early in the first half, and then it was pretty heavy late there. So, but a good break in between. I was hoping it would hold off. It did not, but good game. Two rival teams going head to head. It didn't disappoint for sure. I thought Cathedral showed something I think that they can take out of that game by the way they finished it. The other big game tonight was Brownsburg and Hamilton Southeastern. That one ended up 21-14 in favor of Brownsburg. So Brownsburg wins the outright HCC championship. HSC does not share the title. If they would have won, they would have shared the title, and then Westfield would have had a chance also to get in on that. So big win. for Brownsburg, and again they finish out at 9-0. So Brownsburg, they have a claim definitely to be the top team in the state as they are ranked right now. That was 183 yards rushing for Sherrill on 31 carries tonight. And Jake Dunn had 73 yards on 16 carries. Looked like a lot of running tonight. Looked like it was pretty heavy also for HSE on the ground with Jalen Alexander with over 100, 104 on 14 carries. And that was a game Brownsburg, they led at 7-0 at halftime. It was tied 7-7 at one point. Brownsburg went ahead 21-7. Hamilton caught a touchdown pass in the fourth quarter to make it 21-14. And then Brownsburg was able to, they got a 4th and 12. They got a pass interference, and that led to what was Sherrill's second touchdown of the night. So there was a pass breakup. I was reading from Chloe's story here. A pass breakup by Brownsburg with less than 30 seconds left. So HSE did have a chance to come down and got into the red zone, had to hold off that last rally by HSE. So it did come down to the wire. HSE was able to make a game of it in the late going there with the chance to tie, potentially even go for the win if they would go for two, but they couldn't quite get it done. Elsewhere, Fisher's 34-14, and I did post it on the poll. I was kind of curious what people thought of this, but who the top team in 6A is in the state right now, and like I've been doing all year, I'm still going to vote Center Grove number one until somebody beats them. I think that's just the way it is. They haven't done anything, in my opinion, not to be. I know some people, again, they go off the records only. It doesn't make sense to me, based on who you play, to just do that. If you want to do that, just list them by record in alphabetical order, I guess. But I'm going to still vote Center Grove number one, Brownsburg two, and Ben Davis three at this point. Ben Davis, they won tonight easily. They played early, 5:30 game against North Central because of the weather, which turned out to be smart. And they get a easy win in that one. So Ben Davis also finishes 8-1. So Brownsburg's 9-0. Center Grove and Ben Davis both 8-1. But Ben Davis and Center Grove both lost to out-of-state teams, IMG Academy and St. Edward, Ohio, respectively. So definitely no shame in those two losses by those teams. Also tonight, Avon got another good win, so they beat Noblesville 14-7. And can't say I didn't expect Coach Gibson to get that thing going there at Avon. So they've won back-to-back weeks now. The Orioles have 2-0, and good win over a Noblesville team that almost beat Brownsburg last week. So I know Avon plays in the sectional against Pike. They could certainly get to the sectional championship game to play either Ben Davis or Brownsburg. That's a ways off. That'd be 3 weeks away, but you don't want to overlook them at this point. Fishers beat Zionsville 34-14. It was a big night for John Anthony Hall. Had 6 catches for 154 in that one, and he had a kickoff return for a touchdown. So mark that down in my brain for a player of the week. Looks like John Anthony Hall definitely deserving of his name in there. Bryson Luter had a touchdown pass to lift Lawrence Central over Carmel tonight, 21-17. So Lawrence Central, I keep saying Center Grove. Lawrence Central beats Carmel 21-17. The good win for LC, and in that one, it looked like Luter had not a ton of passing yards, had 85 passing yards in that game, but good win for the Bears tonight. Monrovia beats Cecina 44-0. Monrovia playing really well, running the ball like crazy. Belcher had 218 tonight. Clements 106. So, again, Monrovia running up the offensive totals, especially on the ground. East Central rolls to a 41-7 win over Roncalli. East Central, a juggernaut, absolute juggernaut in 4A. Pendleton Heights beats Shelbyville 28-6. Whiteland over Greenwood, that was an interesting game to follow tonight. Greenwood was ahead quite a bit of that game. Whiteland got 2 touchdowns, the last 2 touchdowns of the game, and they held Greenwood to 3 points in the second half to win 28-6. to 24. So the Mid-State continues to be wild and crazy. Mooresville beats Prairie Meridian 24 to 14 tonight. Also a Mid-State game. Guerin Catholic 42-7 over Culver Academy. Covenant Christian beats Ritter 38 to 13. Great win for Hamilton Heights tonight. They beat West Lafayette 26-23 for the conference championship in the Hoosier Athletic Conference. So that's a really big time win for Hamilton Heights, and they'll go into the tournament undefeated at this point. So Brebeuf Jesuit beats Terre Haute North 48 to 27. Western Boone in overtime beats Lebanon 27-21. Heritage Christian 48 to 8 over Purdue Poly. Tri-West 21-7 over Southmont. Bishop Chatard, wow, big win over Cincinnati Elder 34 to 8 in that game. So Chatard again, good win. Daniel Shaw 98 rushing yards in that one, and Colin Guy looked like he had 5 catches for 71. Lawrence North beats Pike 21 to 6. Lawrence North's Isavion Moore had 102 rushing yards on 24 carries in that one. Elsewhere, Beech Grove 28-27 over Franklin County. Ben Davis, I mentioned that earlier, 50 to 3 over North Central was that score. Bloomington North 42-14 over Southport. Carroll Floral beat Sheridan 24 to 0. Christian Brothers out of Missouri 47-3 over Warren Central. Addicts beat Southside Homeschool 70 to 6. Danville over North Montgomery 23 to 20. Decatur beats Franklin 36 to 0. Let's see some of these other scores I've mentioned. Greenfield Central 44 to 20 over Newcastle. Indian Creek beats Northview 22-21. That's a good win for the Braves. Lapel beats Eastern Hancock 36-31. Those teams will play each other next week. Interesting. They will turn around and meet again. Look like a wild one there. Lapel. Martinsville beats Plainfield. So Martinsville's 13 to 6. So that means they share the Mid-State Conference title with Decatur Central. So that's pretty cool for the Artesians who haven't done that in a while. Monrovia mentioned their win over Cecina 44 to 0. Mount Vernon beats Yorktown 35 to 21. Muncie Central 41. Tech 12. New Pal rolls. Didn't have a final yet on that one. 38-7 over Delta in the fourth quarter. And that looks like Triton Central beats Speedway 40 to 7. Washington over Tinley 20 to 14. Westfield beat Franklin Central. Had not mentioned that one. 28 to 19. Westfield beats Franklin Central. So yeah, Westfield, if they did win, but they needed some help from HSC to tie for the conference title. Then HCC weren't quite able to do that. So again, that will about do it. We'll have lots more stuff coming this week, previews and predictions and whatnot, and the foray on down as far as that goes, coming this week in the playoffs. So I'll be a week off in the tournament for the 5A and 6A teams with the bye week or an off week essentially, and then coming back next week. Again, my game, Center Grove wins 45-38 over Cathedral, and goes into the tournament. The 3-time defending champs go in with an 8-game winning streak. So the wheels keep rolling for Center Grove. But thanks again, and we'll talk to you next time.